The ice road seemed to go for miles. You could hear the sound of the ice cracking and creaking under the weight of the vehicle as we drove. It felt like we were driving on another planet. Well, actually, there was this bar. I mean, that's why we drove for 2 days to get there.
Welcome to Igloo Land.
When it comes to taverns in America, I guess I just look for things that I find novel and unique. This one seems pretty much at the top of that category. To get there, we drove 3 miles out on the ice on a frozen lake in northern Minnesota. I wasn't exactly scared, but then again, I'm a little stupid that way.
Okay, so we're about to go out on the ice road. I don't exactly know where we're going, except we turn left. We got to keep the speed under 20 miles an hour, and it says vehicle access, so that's the ice. And here we go, nice and slow. And now we're on the ice road. Okay, and I'll just keep our speed down.
Ice roads have long been used in winter to deliver critical supplies. They are dangerous and yet so compelling.
Driving the ice roads, that's right.
But what makes this adventure so much fun is that on this particular ice road is a tavern.
You can see it's slushy and deep over there. Now, the temperature right now is 24 degrees. And that plow, he's plowing and widening the road for us. You can see the cracks in the ice right here, which is kind of cool. See the little zigzag pieces in the road. And just keep the speed down.
Located 3 miles out on the ice of a frozen lake in northern Minnesota, this is the first time and probably the last time I'll do a drive like this.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing about the ice is when you're out here, it makes these cool sounds, especially at night. It goes pew, 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 pew. It makes crunchy noises. So anyway, over here on the left is where the guys park their trailers before going way out. And these are these unusual custom-built huts. Crazy things, isn't it? So apparently it's about 1.5 miles to get to our hut, number 247. And you can see that we're really just looking at those stakes in the ground just for that edge. So you just follow those and you know that you're on the right path. Oop, I'm going 19. Here we are. 49th parallel here in northern Minnesota, Lake of the Woods, driving the ice road. Speed limit out here is 20 miles an hour. That's right. And here's my co-pilot. She says, "You're an idiot." And I said, "Well, this is fun." Here, now we're crossing up to a land bridge here where it goes on land for a minute and then it goes there. I learned from watching the show Ice Road Truckers that this is the place you gotta be careful. You gotta drive nice and slow. Not too slow. And that's fine too. Bumps. It's a little piece of land that we climb back up on, I guess. And we got some big whoop-de-doos here. This road back in 1924. just goes and goes. Alright, so he thinks... Yeah, this is the crack zone here.
Ice roads are basically very dangerous and high risk to drive on. It's a known fact that the ice cracks and breaks and cars and trucks go through every year up here. Part of the challenge was taking my VW Atlas that weighs almost 5,000 pounds, which is nearly the same weight as a Ford F-250, and drive it miles out on the surface of a frozen lake. It's a very creepy feeling driving on the surface of this ice. In fact, a few days after we left, a pickup truck in a different part of the state had gone through the ice. It can happen, it does happen, and drivers, you need to watch your speed and stay on the groomed roads.
The cracks are a trip.
But seeing other vehicles out on the ice with us that were considerably larger than ours is somewhat reassuring.
There's the tavern.
So, after 2 days on the road to get there, the signs to this wondrous drinking establishment appeared on the horizon of this frozen wilderness.
We're gonna drink a few beers, then, right?
Yeah. Welcome to the coolest bar in America. A place called the Igloo. Walking in, you don't really see anything particularly special. Lots of people hanging around, drinking beers, and TVs going in the background. But that's not why we're here. We're here to see the holes in the floor. This place actually has holes in the floor so you can fish through them right from your table as you enjoy the comforts of this unusual place. We arrived fairly late in the afternoon, found a table quickly, and discovered that the people here are exceptionally friendly and hospitable. So, when in Minnesota, do what the Minnesotans do, drink beverages and make new friends. After all, that's what taverns are for. I guess the American tavern, or any tavern in the world for that matter, is nothing more than a place where strangers can sit and drink together. They're great places to get to know the locals and really understand local culture. As for food, well, out there, miles from shore, the drinks are plentiful and the food menu is simple. So we ordered some local beer and what our new friend Kyle recommended. Something called taco in a bag. It's burrito in a bag.
What did that thing? It's a taco in a bag.
Taco in a bag, yeah. Anyway, so we're out here at the place called the Igloo, which I would say is the most unusual bar, the coolest bar in North America. And you can have this beer, and you can have this, which is like food in a bag. It's really good. So, anyway, we drove for 2 days to get here. And I guess this is what people do. I mean, when you think about a tavern, you think about it's a place to drink and a place to get together with people. And then you go fish by yourself. And they had taverns like this outside of Buffalo, New York, back in the turn of the 20th century. And they would tow on a sled the ice huts miles out onto the ice and set it up with fire and a nice floor and everything. So I guess really this tradition's been going on for a long time. Here's to the coolest tavern in America.
This place is literally built on the ice, miles from shore. I think back to the fact that ice has long played a critical role in the manufacture of things like beer. There was an entire industry dedicated to collecting ice to keep food and beer cold called ice harvesting. And that thrived in places like this all the way into the 20th century until refrigeration took over. Taverns like this are not new. I found a record of another ice tavern 4 miles out off the coast of Buffalo, New York, on the Great Lakes that dated back to 1902, complete with wood stoves and beverages and food. And that's what drew me up here to the 49th parallel. So, with a few beers and Arctic tacos in us, we did what people have done for thousands of years. Celebrate with our new friend Kyle and his family.
Welcome to Igloo Land.
Then it was time to head home to our little fishing hut we rented further out on the lake to fish and spend the night.
Oh, beautiful sunset. So weird. Okay, we're coming up to Perch Street, which I think will be coming up on. Take a right, but we're out on some of the outer ones. We're right on the outer edge. This is so crazy. Yeah, so the ice is 2 or 3 feet thick. And if you go more than 20 miles an hour, it creates a pressure wave that can travel down and crack the ice, and it damages it, makes it harder for stuff. So we're coming out, oh, here's Perch Street. So we're gonna take a right on Perch Street, and then 247 will be at the T-bone of Darnage. So we're at Perch and Darnage. Yeah, we're going out. Wow, and I think that's gonna be us somewhere out there. We're on the outer edge. That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna use my turn signal just in case, okay? Now, what I gotta do here is I guess I'll just back in, because that seems to make the most sense. Remember how they taught us that in Costa Rica?
No, that's in case you gotta get out of the way of a volcano.
Getting in is simple enough. Bring in your gear, turn on the lights and heater, and set up your sleeping bag. Bring your fishing gear and start fishing.
I can feel a tension. Yeah, I'm about a foot up. Could I check yours and maybe use my skills? Is that amazing? Oh, you know what? This is what we drove 2 days for. I like it. I spilled the bag of fish on the floor over there, and I did not think it was very funny.
Due to the amount of beers we had, handling the live bait is not the most straightforward process.
Thanks for the help.
But we are here for the fun and the beer, not necessarily the fish.
No, it's not bad.
Like this? Here.
Is it through the bottom? Yeah. Aww.
And then not into his brain.
Ouch. But I think it does go through the brain.
Yeah, poor guy.
Is he still moving?
Yeah, a little bit.
Because if he doesn't move, they won't want him. Here, right here. Take this bag.
Get him down in the water, Batman.
All right.
So, finally, after working hard to drink beer and not catch any fish, we packed up and headed for home. Then, a funny thing happened. We got lost out on the ice. We were headed back towards shore when I turned right on the wrong ice road. It was weird. My GPS was telling me I was driving over open water.
The reason I know it wasn't right is because the sticks aren't here.
So I was thinking, gee, those sticks are there and they're not here. Me, but I didn't consider that when I was looking this way. So good choice. Good call. So when driving on ice roads, always remember that if you see sticks, sticks are where you want to be. After a mile or so, I decided to turn around and went back and found the main ice road. So we're coming back off of the road and we turned right instead of staying straight. And we wound up on an ice road leg going to another town that isn't the road back to where we're supposed to be. And we learned that out here are these little sticks, like that one going by out the window right there. And that's so the plows can see what they're doing. So we did it. We had a beer or three in Minnesota's most famous ice tavern, the coolest tavern in the lower 48 states. The question is, would I do it again? Maybe no. Or maybe. Perhaps next time we'll try one up in the Yukon or Alaska. It's important to note that as global warming sets into our day-to-day reality, it is very possible, if not likely, that the opportunities to drive on these types of roads will disappear. They will become part of the past, and the ice roads will be forgotten. That's sad because this was fun. And for all you real fishermen out there, this is one of the best places on earth to catch walleye pike. So if ice fishing is your thing, come up here before it's too late. Oh, and there's one more thing I wanted to tell you guys about. So on my latest filming adventure, we went up to the top reaches of northern Minnesota along the 49th parallel. And in the process of getting there, we drove through central and northern Wisconsin. And I stopped at a store and I found this sitting on the shelf. This is Budweiser Chileada Picante. Beer, but it's the most unusual beer that I have seen in a long time. Budweiser Chileada Picante is made with beer and tomato juice. And when you're drinking it, you can't think beer because that's going to put you off. You need to think about it like a meal in a can. It actually tastes really good. It's made with clamato juice, which is clam and tomato juice, another frightening combination for many of you. But in this case, for some reason, in the northern reaches of the United States, in a deeply frozen tundra-like Arctic environment, you can find this up there. Now, the only other place I've seen this is down along the Mexican border in southern Arizona, El Paso, Texas area. Chilada, I believe, is kind of a noun. But anyway, you drink it with the expectation of tomato juice with beer in it. But yeah, strange beverages in strange parts of the world that I discovered while up on the ice roads in the top reaches of the United States in Minnesota. Budweiser Chileada Picante.